Hello again and welcome back to part 3 of our What Driver Suits Your Game, and this one's just all about the shaft, and it's very interesting. We've done an awful lot of testing on shafts, and I think our overall impression is that the importance of a type of shaft has been slightly over marketed in recent years. You'll have heard phrases like kick points and bend points and flexes and weights and things, but all of our testing tends to show us that actually we should all be using a shaft that is definitely not too heavy and stiff for us. If anything, slightly the other way on the softer end of the scale. I've got two shafts here. I mean, you can see physically the difference. This is a lightweight, they call it a ladies flex shaft, which I'm not a particular fan of. It's just a lightweight flexible shaft, and you can see there's plenty of bend in the shaft there. And then this is the other end of the spectrum, which is a much heavier shaft, which I'm struggling to bend at all or get any flex out of. In terms of weight, one is nearly double the other in terms of weight, and in golf terms a 40 gram difference in shaft weights is enormous. So let's have a little look at the data and see what happened when our Harry hit both a ladies flex shaft and a very stiff and heavy shaft with his driver head on both clubs, hitting the same shot time after time.
So we can see in these results from Harry's extensive trialling that we're seeing results that are slightly unexpected. If you look at the two images at the top, the one on the left, the trajectory, is possibly the wrong way around from what everyone would have thought. The red line, which is the heavy, stiff shaft, is flying higher and coming down shorter than the soft, lighter ladies flex shaft. And if you look at the picture on the top right, this will be explain what's happened here. The heavy shaft was too stiff and too heavy even for Harry, and he just couldn't square the club face. Given that he normally hits a draw with every shot, he could not get that club face back to square at impact, no matter how hard he tried. And with a little bit of face open, that adds a bit of loft to the club. That's what added the backspin to those shots, and that's what took off those 11 yards of carry distance as well. So I think we can conclude actually that shafts are a little bit oversold in the marketplace, and the fact that Harry can hit a ladies weight and flex shaft carry of 266 yards pretty much straight down the middle every time tells us that we should all be erring on the side of softer, lighter shafts rather than stiff and heavy. And that goes against what a lot of people think. They think if they put weight and stiffness into a shaft, it'll help them gain control in some way, it'll reduce the spin, and I think that comes from a general feeling of not having the feeling of flex during the swing, which is one that feels a little bit variable and changeable, and therefore people perceive that's going to cause errors in there where the ball goes. But it's actually the opposite. So, in conclusion, I would say with shafts, don't be sucked into spending an awful lot of money on extra expensive shafts. They don't make that much difference as long as you're in the right ballpark. It's all about feel, getting used to the shaft you're using, and making sure with some good advice that the shaft that you are using is one that allows you to square the face up consistently and get some decent results.
Okay, well I think you can see from that set of results there that the importance of the shaft, yes, whilst is important, is probably not as significant as has been made out by an awful lot of people. So especially if you're using a shaft that is heavy and stiff, then I really would recommend that you try and take some weight out of the shaft and possibly even some flex. It'll feel a lot better to play with, be a lot more manageable, and the chances are you'll be able to square the face of the club a lot easier as well. So we've now covered all three parts of the golf club. The head, design, the loft and the shaft, and things, as you can see, have changed an awful lot in the last 20 or 30 years in terms of drivers. From the one we started with showing you earlier, 7 degrees of loft, very small head and hollow, we've now got all sorts of adjustable weighting, different shaft options, different face angles, which has made the game an awful lot easier. But please don't buy a driver off the shelf. Come and allow us to fit all these aspects to your game, and we should help you find more fairways. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned for our next lockdown video. In the meantime, bye for now.